Good morning, everyone. It's June 6, 2019, although when you get this video, it will be afternoon. No crime, no victim, how the U.S. government framed Schaeffer Cox. And this is from a Freedom Outpost. This can happen to any one of us, by the way. And when it does, it destroys the life of the person it happens to. So I've been out for about a week and a day, and during that time, today I got a video banned from YouTube. I believe it was called the Jewish Global Power Mechanism. They flagged it and pulled it down. You want to know who rules over you? Figure out who you can't criticize. Schaeffer Cox is a Christian man being held in a black site prison in Indiana on U.S. soil, and it continues under the current administration. He committed no crime, and yet he is treated like a terrorist in this prison. This prison was not authorized by Congress, and in violation of U.S. law, it exists to violate the rights of people like Schaeffer Cox by means of cruel and unusual punishment. The following article was provided by freeschaeffer.com. Let's make some noise on his behalf. Now, you might recall there's another individual being held in one of these types of prisons. The guy that created the Silk Road on the dark web. Do something the government don't like, and you're liable to be fucked. I mean, fucked really hard. Schaeffer's case was a state case. The state of Arkansas heard the evidence and threw the whole case out. The federal government then took him to federal court and decided the same evidence could not be played at federal trial. Having no crime to charge Schaeffer with, they made one up. Conspiracy. You know, they're actually doing the conspiracy theorizing, not us. Schaeffer was the first known American Christian man to be charged for a thought crime, and the government admitted that he is charged with conspiracy to kill no identifiable target. I don't know how you can do that. We're not going to go through the videos below, but I will leave a link for this article in the description box in case you would like to see them. But the video below, made by J.B. Patterson, is based completely on evidence from the audio recordings of undercover FBI agents Bill Fulton and J.R. Olson, as well as the trial transcripts. It is a summary. Schaeffer Cox was targeted by the U.S. government for calling out child sex abuse and drug trafficking. After calling out corruption of child abuse and drug trafficking, the FBI sent two informants with the job of getting Schaeffer to agree to commit violence against the government. One tactic from the FBI to provoke Schaeffer to violence was to threaten to take away his child. This tactic did not work. Schaeffer never agreed to violence. In quotes, "Our plan is to try to take Seth away from Schaeffer and Marty, and we believe that will be sufficient to elicit a display of force, at which point we will shoot all three of them," supervising agent says. The FBI informant took their job to provoke Schaeffer to violence a step further by threatening to murder Schaeffer and his friend, Les Zerby. Bill Fulton brags about trying to murder Leslie Zerby in front of Schaeffer and his very young son, Seth. The only ones who spoke of violence and tried to come up with a plan of violence are the FBI informants. This is the video where Schaeffer repeats to the informant, "I'm not going to shoot it out." So this can happen to anyone who speaks out against the perversions, the drug trafficking of our government. It can happen to any of us. It can happen to me. As a matter of fact, last Friday, I got pulled over. It was very unsettling, by the way. Very unsettling. I'm going to tell you about that right quick here, since it's been a short video. So, I go and pick my son up. Now I'm on my way back. And I get to a point where there's an unmarked car sitting in the middle of the road. And I knew it was a cop. I make eye contact with him. And he comes flying after me. Of course, I wasn't holding anything. I wasn't breaking any laws under my seatbelt. So I pull over, and while I'm driving and the cop's behind me, I'm going through all the stuff trying to find my license, my registration, proof of insurance, all that crap, right? Well, we get there, we get pulled over, and he asked me for all that stuff. And then he comes back to the truck and says, will you get out of the car? Get out of the vehicle. At that point, I'm starting to freak out because the last couple of times that something like this has happened, I've ended up in jail. Well, this did not happen this time around, but he gets me out of the truck and he pats me down to make sure I don't have any weapons, and then he asked me, why were you moving around so much while I was pulling you over? It looked suspicious. And I told him I was looking for the stuff that he would be required, or that he would require me to hand over. And he was like, well, do you have any guns, knives, alcohol, drugs in your vehicle? And I said, no, I don't have any of that stuff. Like I said, I was looking for the paperwork you would want. And so he gets back in his car, and a couple minutes passes, and I say, hey man, can I call my wife and tell her that this is going on? And he says, why would you do that? We're just about done here. I was like, okay. So a couple minutes later, he starts to get out of his car, and as he's doing this, two officers, not two vehicles, two canine cops pull up, and as he's talking to me, they're standing behind him with their arms crossed and big old grins on their face. That made me feel, really paranoid. Really did. So I spent the entire weekend searching through my truck and my home to see if there was anything here that would alert a drug dog. Of course, there wasn't anything here, but I looked just to be safe. And I totally expected them to come over the weekend to search my place. It was just a feeling I got, and man, it was very, very, very unsettling. I mean, I didn't want them to come and possibly kill myself, hurt my children, and but this is the environment we live in now. We have to worry about one of these roided out cops executing us on the side of the road. We have to worry about these people taking our children and feeding them to the pedophiles. And this is a great example of how things like that happens, right? I mean, this could have happened to anybody, any one of us. But hey, no, whatever it takes to get people behind bars, right? Whatever it takes. Anyway, thought I'd share this with y'all. If you like my content, please do give me a thumbs up, subscribe, maybe share. I do have PayPal links below, and I will put the link to this particular article at the very top in the description box so that you can check out these videos for yourself. This is the state we live in, though. We're far from free, and every passing day we become less and less free, and nobody really seems to give a shit. Anyway, till next time, kill the state, live free.